Hello, let's solve this problem. So what is saying? A force of 120 Newton, 30 degree north of east, and 80 Newton, 40 degrees south of east act on an object. These are the questions. So first question is draw a vector diagram of the two original vectors. Let's start with this and then we can move forward. So first we have to draw our north, east, south, and west. And then on here we can say that first force magnitude 129 and the direction is 30 degree north of east. When it says north of east, so we have to start our angle from earth and it should go towards to north. So it will be starting from east going to north 30 degree, and the magnitude 129 we just draw a vector approximately this size. Note that I'm not keeping the cell, which is okay. And then we put a vector sign on the F1 because force is a vector. It means it has direction, also it has magnitude. Second force will be 80 Newton and direction will be 40 degrees south of east. So south of east, it means again we start drawing our angle from east and then towards to south. So it will be from east towards to south. This will be 40 degrees. So question number one we already did. Now let's move to the second question. Find the resultant of two vectors. First of all, what we have to do, we transfer these two vectors into the xy coordinate system. Let's do first F1 force. So F1 force, when we draw in xy, note that this is y, this is x, this is minus y, this is minus x. So this will be 30 degree. From this right angle triangle, the F1 force x component, we can easily find this will be this. From this right angle triangle, we can find that F1x equal F1 multiply cosine 30 degree, which is equal 103.92 newtons. Accordingly, from this right angle triangle, because this is right angle, right, this will be F1 y component of F1 force. We will find that it equal 60 newton. Now let's do for F2 force. So F2 force, again we put here F2 and these right angle triangles, two right angle triangles, we can find F2x and F2y components. Now the resultant force, in order to find the resultant force, because it says find the resultant of two vectors, in order to find, what we have to do, we have to add x and y components of resultant force. So x component will be F1x plus F2x, Fy again same, and we will find that 125.2 tenths and 8.56 newtons. And if we draw here, you can see this one is F1x, this is F2x, they have exactly same direction. However, F1y and F2y have opposite direction. That's why here we have negative sign, so it will be smaller force. Now, in order to find the F, the resultant force, what from this right angle triangle, we can say that using Pythagoras theorem, we can find f square equal fx square plus fy square, the hypotenuse square. This is, so f will be square root of this component square, and then we will find 165.3400 newton. So the magnitude of resultant force we found. However, in order to find the resultant force, it's not only about magnitude, we have to find out also the angle. So in other words, the direction. So to find the direction, if we find this angle, then we can find the direction. So from this right angle triangle, tangent alpha will be fy divided fx of alpha, or alpha will be arctangent fy divided fx. So it will be 2.96 degree. So how we can write this? So we can start from east as east to north, the angle. So it will be 2.96 north of east. So in other words, we found also direction. So the question number two also we solved. Now let's move to the question number 3, which means is saying that what would the third force need to be to make the net force 0. So we found that our resultant force from B has this direction with this angle, right, with this magnitude. So resultant force must be such a way so it will compensate this force, resultant force. Resultant force I just mark as an F3 because it says third force for convenience. No, it should be exactly opposite to F. It should have exactly same magnitude, and the angle should be 2.96. So the resultant force magnitude should be exactly like 165.34, which we found from here, and an angle should be 2.96 degree. How we can write? So it should be 2.96 south of west. So it starts from west and it goes towards to south. So it means we solved this problem also. Thank you very much.